We will be painting a very simple boat and reflection scene in this tutorial. We will be using a reference photograph and we will try to remove all the complexities from the reference photograph. We will pick up only those few elements that are interesting to us, and we will then see how we can proceed with the simplification approach. So without further wasting time, let us begin. This is the reference photograph, and I will be placing this photograph at the top right or bottom corner for easy reference, right? So let us take a cartridge paper. You can use a watercolor paper if you want, and then make a very simplified drawing of this particular reference. So I'll not be picking all the boats from the reference. I'll be picking only a couple of them, maybe the bottom right two small boats, and then I will probably pick the big boat from the left side. Okay, so only three boats, that is my idea. And I am using a waterproof pen for this drawing. The details of the pen will be given in the description below, and I'm only focusing on the simplified shape of the boats. Okay, not all the details. We don't need all the details, right? Only some of the highlights of the boat and the overall shape of it. And if you are not confident of drawing directly with pen, you can draw with a pencil, and then you can paint on top of the pencil drawing. Or if you want to draw with pen, you can draw on top of the pencil drawing with a waterproof pen, and then you can paint. It is up to you. I think this much is sufficient for the two boats, and we'll decide what should be added on top of this. Okay, maybe these couple of poles can help in adding little bit more reflections to make it slightly more interesting, right? Then what is to be done next? So yeah, maybe we can make the top bigger boats. I'm just looking at the major shapes. Okay, I'm just looking at the major shape of the boat, and it doesn't have to be perfect, and you can always modify it. It is your artwork, so you can take the decisions. Okay, right. I'm only looking at kind of the geometrical shape of the boat, kind of a box with slightly curved top plane, right? Yeah, I think this is the overall form of it, and maybe a little bit of details within, maybe the two doors, and there are some kind of shapes here. And it is not, I know that it is not perfectly matching with the reference. I think that my boat went slightly taller, but that is okay. We are doing quickly, we are doing fast. So it is okay as long as the perspective and the overall believability is okay. I think that is fine. What next? There is some kind of a grill there probably, and I don't know. There is something. I mean, I'm not picking every details, but some details that I think can be interesting, I'm picking it up. And some reflection, and the reflections will be made very simple. Okay, so the overall idea is not to make it very precise, and it is just to make it very simplified and yet sort of believable. Okay, some suggestions for the ripples and the reflections. I'm finding little bit of a tint of red in the overall sky area. So I'm first giving a wash of pale crimson with a mauve brush. And remember that this is a cartridge paper, not a watercolor paper. You have to work fast, and otherwise it may dry quickly and you may get some patches. So I would suggest you to do this on a paper that can take watercolor. So maybe you can take a watercolor paper, preferably cold pressed watercolor paper, 100% cotton, if that is affordable. And I think this this is the wash for the sky, and as I come to the water, I will make it little bit more bluish. Okay, we'll add little bit more bluish when we come to the water at the bottom, and let us give a base wash by adding little bit of a red and a tiny bit of burnt sienna. Okay, so we have given the initial wash for the board, and then let us continue for the bottom portion of the water. Okay, so it is a good idea if you can wait for the boat to get completely dry, to avoid any merging of the blue color into the boat. Okay, so I am taking care that the blue color that I am applying is not getting inside the red, I mean brownish red that we have added for the boat. But if you have time, you can wait for that to get dried. Okay, I think this is good enough for the initial wash, and I feel that the bottom portion should be a little bit more greenish. So I'm adding a little bit of cobalt green to the mix so that it is a little bit more greenish. Sorry, I'm not able to show, I mean, my palette completely, because at the time of shooting, some portion of the palette is getting cropped. It got cropped. And yeah, these are suggestion for some ripples. Okay, so slightly thicker consistency paint on top of a wet surface. So when you make this initial ripples, the paper was wet. Now it is completely dry, and let us go for the details. A very pale burnt sienna using a smaller medium size round brush, and I am giving the base wash for that, because I want to keep it away from sharp white of the paper. And burnt sienna and a bit of Payne's grey and maybe a touch of crimson. I mean, slightly brownish red kind of a color it is. And yeah, this is the base wash. Sorry if you're getting some background noise. I don't have a soundproof room. Yeah, some kind of yellow mixed with the previous mix. Okay, so it is kind of a brown and yellow kind of a color for the roof. And now I am giving dark color. Dark color is mainly Payne's grey and a touch of cobalt green. Okay, they are mixed together, and I am adding the dark tone for the base of the boat. You can see the base of the boat in the reference. And now I am adding darker color to this. It is the same kind of a color. You can mix red and Payne's grey in this case. Slight variation of the dark color of the big boat and the smaller boats. For the big boat, I have used Payne's grey and little cobalt green, and for the smaller boats, I have used Payne's grey and little bit of red, maybe little burnt sienna. Kind of slightly warmer color. Okay, slightly warmer color for the small boats, dark tone, and slightly cooler for the big boat. You can, that is just my choice. You can change the colors if you wish. And very pale grayish blue kind of a color. It is mainly Payne's grey and little bit of a blue and a touch of crimson. Okay, slightly purplish kind of a grey for the far end foliages. I know it is not precisely matching with the reference, but that is okay. And now the initial wash for the boat is dry, and I am using some more shadow tones for the boat plane. Okay, and this portion, let us make it a little bit more darker. I think the front portion is too dark, so I am lifting some colors using a tissue paper. Okay, so now I think it is better. Usually the top portion will have stronger shadows and some darker color for the doors. Since I am not capturing, I haven't captured the color mixing for some of these mixes. I am editing out those time so that we can make the video slightly shorter. And these are some tiny details. Okay, we don't really need all these details, but to make it little interesting, I have added some of the details and the dark window there. And this area is not dry yet, so it may be spreading the left plane of the board. Okay. I think overall it is good. I'm adding another layer for adding some more darkness. And the reflection, the beginning of the reflection is very dark, so I'm adding Payne's gray for the start of the reflection. Then I'm adding little bit of cobalt green and sap green kind of a mix to that to make it more greenish, the reflection at the bottom. And the reflection is usually it doesn't have to be precise, but we have to make it that it is sort of a mirror reflection, mirror image of the object above. I think this much is sufficient. If you are interested in, maybe I can make another video more telling more about the reflections. Okay. Let me know if you think some more tutorials with subjects of reflections will be helpful to you. These are just some ripples, okay, so not very precise reflections. Precise reflections will be much more complex. Our entire tutorial is about simplification, so we will be simplifying and not be adding too much of details. I think overall the reflection is sort of believable, and some more ripples here and there, and some reflections for all those vertical elements that will make it a little bit more interesting. And these reflections are usually broken apart as it goes further from the element. This area looks too light, so a little bit of darkness. Again, let it completely dry, and then we can draw some figures on top of it. So I have edited out the drying time because otherwise the video will get too big or too long. And a couple of figures, okay. The scale should be good enough. I think the first figure that we drew went little smaller, so we'll make it slightly bigger. And this figure is, we are seeing the backside of him. Couple of figures that, okay, doesn't have to be precise. Slightly bigger, making it slightly bigger. I think this is fine. Now let us color these figures and maybe we can then finish it off. Some bluish kind of purple color. Because this guy is in the shadow, I'm not using stronger colors for him. Okay. And maybe for him I will make slightly brighter colors. Brighter color means maybe red or blue kind of colors. Okay. These poles were not very much visible, so I'm just making it darker. I think we are pretty much okay with that. Let us add some colors to the figures. Some cobalt green kind of a color. And for him, this guy I am using little bit of a red, but slightly darker red, so that it is justified in the shadows. These colors you can pick up. You can pick colors of your choice. And I think I think that is good enough for this particular work, because we are not looking for much of a precision, right? I'm using a liner brush for this. You can use, it is not precisely a liner, it is something between a round brush and a liner brush. The hairs are not very long. It's a Chinese calligraphy type brush. It's a small size Chinese calligraphy type brush. Some suggestions for the exposed body parts, the skin tone. It's purely, I have taken orange color from orange watercolor for the skin tone. Okay, little bit of a highlight. For the highlights in the shadow area, I have used white mixed with a little bit of cerulean blue. And for the highlights in the light hitting area, I'm using plain Chinese white shade. Okay. Okay, I think this much is sufficient for the highlights. Too much of highlights may spoil the work. Okay, done. Okay, fine. I think you are finding this tutorial helpful, and if you are finding it useful, please do let me know in the comment box below. And if you have any question or suggestions or feedback, please write them into the comment box below. If you think this video is helping you and you are able to find it informative, please write them into the comment box below. Please subscribe to my channel, and please share it to your artist groups. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you have enjoyed it. Please do practicing. Please continue your practice. Practice is more important than watching more and more videos. Okay, so please practice it. And if you have any doubts or queries, questions, please ask me. I'll be more than happy to get back with my answers as early as possible. So thank you very much once again, and we'll soon see you with another interesting watercolor tutorial. And happy painting until then. Bye bye.